Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There we are. It is, of course, the Fruit Nut News on what day we're today? What day? Wheel of Fortune. What day we're today? 10th, Friday the 10th of the 4th. Good Friday, ladies and gentlemen. On the old Orthodox, it's Good Friday. So, of course, we got the 10th today, the 11th tomorrow, and, of course, the 12th on Sunday, which is... Yes, Good Friday today is, of course, the, what do they call it? The crucifixion. Tomorrow, of course, is the Passover. And then, of course, Sunday is the resurrection. So, what could possibly go wrong? Well, according to Melania, absolutely fucking everything. Well, we've got more on that a bit later on. And, of course, we've got an update on the scabies situation, the pollen situation, the bug situation, the allergic reaction to alcohol situation, and of course the allergic reaction to any type of fucking food. We will keep you informed on that as to what's happening. Now, don't forget. If I do mention the word scabies, it's not directly targeted at anybody that has suggested that. So please try to be less sensitive. For anybody that suggested it could be pollen, please don't get offended and think that I'm having a go at you, because I'm not. And in the same token, don't be too worried about suggesting that it could be bugs. I'd like to thank everybody for the amazing amount of holistic therapies that people have sent me. We've had bicarbonate soda, we've had tea tree oil, we've had HEPA filters. I fucking didn't know anything about HEPA filters, but I do now. What else have we had? We've had oh yes, running around the caravan park naked. Apparently that's supposed to get rid of any kind of fucking pollen, which is quite interesting. Anyway, we still haven't had the results yet, but we will, of course, find out very shortly. Once again, if I do mention, bicarbonate soda, it doesn't mean that I'm having a go at you. So please try not to be as sensitive, And talking of which, I want to talk a little bit about that a bit later on in regards to erring on the side of caution with people. Yes, very interesting. Anyway, first off, let's say hello to everybody. Let's have a look who we got in. Okay, we got Glenn Pearson in, Diane Williams is in, Christine Owens in, Sheila Douglas is joining us, Lisa's in, Carol's in, John Brink is in, Leslie's in, Lisa Thurwell's in, Christina's in, Bill Giles in, Joanna Unwin's in, Shepherd's in, Dave Hunter's in, Graham's in, Maznu's in, Denise is in, Chris Taylor's in, Brenda Corcoran's joining us tonight as well. We've got Ann Taylor in, Kira is in from Islandshire, Angie's in, Dave Annan's in, Belinda's in, Kelly Close is joining us tonight as well. Lisa Steele is in, as opposed to Lisa Aluminium. Oh, Canal Boat Collins joining us tonight. How you doing, Canal Boat? Are you okay? Guess where Canal Boat Collins lives? On a canal boat. There you go. Ellen Dean, Gary's in. Pam Keenan from America. Now, good evening, Pam. I hope you're okay. I bet you are really, really surprised at the Melania speech. It's taken everybody by surprise. Now, of course, as you well know, Pam is, of course, basically lives in America. I bet, and absolutely wow in regards to Melania. So I bet there's a few Trump supporters knocking their head against the brick wall tonight, Pam. Looney Lena, Steve Osborne is joining us. How you doing, Steve? Hope you're okay. Yvonne Keely's in, Jason's in, and Starry Night's joining us. So we got a fair few people in tonight. So good evening, everyone. Hope you're all okay. So where shall we start tonight? Where shall we start? Well, let's start with Zach Polanski. Now, Zach Polanski, of course, is the Green Party should we say, leader. I'm not quite sure whether we should use that word, leader, but anyway, now Zach has come into fruition with a girl called Hannah, who just happened to be a plumber from Denton. Now, of course, she can also do a bit of plastering as well in her spare time, and she sort of came in as this, what should we say? I wouldn't even say eco-friendly. I would say somewhere along the lines of, someone that is part of the community, been struggling, worked her way up, went to college, learned how to do a bit of plastering and plumbing, and, made herself good. Turns out that Hannah is not quite all she's cracked out to be. Hannah seems to have a very large portfolio of properties. And when we say very large, we do mean very large. We're looking in the millions of pounds. Just keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Zach, of course, has got many ideas. Unfortunately, he's cock-a-hoop about the migrant situation, etc., and wants to actually welcome everybody into the UK, which is fine. The only problem that Zach hasn't realised is that Zach is a certain gender, and unfortunately, due to the certain people coming into this country, Zach is not overly compatible with the religion that's coming in, and so Zach hasn't realised that if the policy that he's implementing is actually implemented, Zach hasn't realised that he's going to be thrown off the nearest high-rise building in Manchester, probably along with Hannah. So maybe you want to rethink that one, Zach. Now, meanwhile, he's come out with a great statement saying that he wants to ban horse racing because, of course, it's dangerous for horses. There can be some rather merit in this sort of situation, but it's just the latest in the pantomime exercise of destroying any political candidate that seems to be popping up at every given turn, so to speak. And rather interesting. I'm not quite sure what Sharia law says about horse riding. I'm sure there's something in there about gambling as well, and drinking alcohol. But anyway, which is all part of horse racing. So it's not just part of and there are also many other sports. I mean, should we argue that do the horses enjoy it? There are a number of horses that have died, etc., etc. So it's a very interesting argument when you actually get speaking about it. Or should we say, not an argument, it's a very interesting debate to have. So pros and cons. There's always pros and cons. Now, Starmer, of course, is once again claiming that he is the man of negotiations. He's just flew off straight away to the Gulf states to basically have a telephone conversation with the Gulf states. Now, I don't know about you, but I would have thought that it would be rather more beneficial for Keir Starmer to make a call from the UK rather than flying all the way to the Gulf states, stopping in a hotel, and then supposedly calling the Gulf states. Don't quite know how that works with climate change, but your guess is as good as mine. Starmer absolutely, completely, totally out of his depth. I don't actually think he knows whether he's fucking coming or fucking going. And the reason that is, of course, is because he is being controlled by other people. So for all those people that think that Keir Starmer is in power in the UK, you can actually fucking forget about it, because he's actually not. He's never in the UK, to be honest. Never in the UK. He's always taking the nearest flight abroad. Not only that, we've got massive crises in the UK at the moment that none of the political people seem to be doing anything about. The Tories had 13 years to crack down on all of the problems, but they haven't done fuck all. And so most people voted Labour in the hope that, of course, things were going to change. And a year or two ago, I said to my friend, who you voting for? He said, I'm definitely voting for Starmer. He's the man for change. Quite rightly, he changed fuck all. Absolutely fuck all. And the problems that we had with the Tories are still the problems that we've got with the Labour Party, which just proves that we haven't got a two-party system. We've only actually got one-party system. Anybody else trying to come into the fray, i.e. Nigel Farage, i.e. Zach Palensky, i.e. the Green Party, has actually got no fucking chance whatsoever. Absolutely no chance whatsoever. Let's nip over now to Ireland for a quick chat about what's going on in Ireland. Absolute massive revolution in Ireland. The governing party there, I'm not sure about Ireland, so I don't know. The governing party of Ireland have called in the army to stop people from protesting against the rise in fuel prices. Now, I don't quite know what is actually what the response of the Irish people is going to be with this, but knowing the Irish people, knowing the passion that they have, I can't see this ending overly well. The other thing as well that we have to take into consideration here as well is this. The government have called for the military to step in and remove any vehicle that basically is blocking the roads. Now, the government person in question didn't realise that there was 50,000 cars and vehicles and tractors and lorries that needed to be removed. And so the Irish army, which number about 3 people, are going to spend probably a great deal of time removing all of those vehicles. I estimate that 50,000 vehicles, if you take, give or take, an hour per vehicle, you are going to probably remove 8 vehicles a day. 8 vehicles a day. And, of course, by the time those 8 vehicles have been removed, there will be another 25,000 vehicles behind them. So it seems as though the army is going to have a very, very interesting job. Meanwhile, of course, the very calling of the military into Ireland, okay, also presents us with another question. It presents us with another question that many people are not thinking about. Now, many people are assuming that the military are being called in to basically go against the people. However, what happens if the military is called in and the military stand with the people, and we end up with, instead of the cars being removed, we end up with the whole of the political system in Ireland being completely taken over by military rule. I bet you didn't fucking think about that one, did you? And of course, the other thing that's happening in Ireland is, of course, the price of Guinness. Now, most people are worried about fuel prices. Most people are worried about food prices. But the most important thing to an Irish person is Guinness. Now you know where I get my heritage from. So, yeah. So this could be a rather double-sided coin for the governing persons. Similar thing is happening in America, okay, and very shortly I would imagine that the same thing will be happening in the UK. It might just be my fanciful thinking, but there seems to be something afoot underneath my feet. And of course, as we well know, people like Keir Starmer and the political system, Westminster, the Senate, they're not just going to step down. They are going to have to be removed by forces greater than the people. Now, the people can, do some good shit, but it shouldn't be up to the people. Don't forget, all these people across the world have all committed treason, and they're all part of the bad gang, or should we say the Zionist lobby, so to speak. Zach Polanski happens to be a Zionist. I would imagine he happens to be friends with Israel as well. So there you go. There you go. Now, let's come on to the Artemis 2 project. This, of course, I'm going to come back to this in a minute, but I posted up a video of the astronauts apparently changing the oil on the spacecraft. Now, I don't know about you, but I can tell whether anybody has got hands-on experience with spanners and implements, etc., by simply watching them handle tools. And when I say tools, we're not talking about the sexuality tool. We're talking about hand tools. Now, I can tell you from watching the video that whoever was using the ratchet and the extension, because we all know men need a good extension for their tool, I can tell you that this man was no engineer. I can tell you that he definitely didn't work on any whacker plates, and he certainly has never mowed a fucking lawn. Now, I don't care how much, I don't care how many doctor's certificates he had, that man shouldn't be on the fucking moon. We all know he's not on the moon, of course. We all know he's probably in some swimming pool somewhere in fucking Dagenham. But anyway, there we go. Now, we must come to Melania Trump. As I said to Pam Keenan, absolutely, the American people must be absolutely like walking around like, what the fuck is going on? Because everybody has been massively surprised at what's happened. Apparently Donald Trump didn't know, okay? Apparently Donald Trump didn't know that Melania was going to chat to the nation. Now, Melania tried to convince everybody that, of course, she didn't know Jeffrey Epstein and she had nothing to do with him. Very interesting. Seeing as she was sat next to Jeffrey Epstein at a fashion show at Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump on numerous occasions. Very, very interesting. It's also come to light in the Epstein files that Epstein was importing Russian escorts to basically supply to the great and the good of the world. So, that's an interesting one. There's also rumours as well flying around that Melania was a KGB agent, which is in the Epstein files as well. Who fucking knows? But anyway, it was a speech that, for me personally, wasn't very sincere. It wasn't very heartfelt, and it looked to me like she was just reading from a script. It was kind of one of those speeches where you've got found out, now you're fucked. So I don't quite know what is going to happen with this. And I'm not quite sure whether or not it was an attempt to get in front of the information that's going to come out. It makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that Melania Trump is the First Lady of the United States of America. I mean, we're not just talking some person married to a famous person, like Hollywood or something like. We're talking the First Lady of the United States of America, and so far has been pretty, should we say, classy, pretty outstanding, should we say. Always well dressed, always well heeled, always looks the part. Not particularly put a foot out of place so far. Is that about to change? We just don't know. Let's also remember that the Bible was present at the inauguration, and of course, hands were hovering. That's an interesting one, isn't it? So anyway, it will of course all unfold itself. Maybe it's some grand plan that we don't know about. Maybe it's all part of the alien exposure. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe Melania will turn out to be an alien from the Pleiades, and Donald Trump will be a time traveler. Who knows? Let's wait and see. Let's not forget that Baron Trump, of course, was heavily in a book a few years ago called the Journey of Baron Trump or something, or Baron. Or something, or Baron Journeys Through the Kingdom. Who fucking knows? Anyway, it will be rather interesting. Now, a few facts that might be you might be interested in, you might not be interested in, but anyway, if you are, great. If you're not interested, we don't really care. But anyway, Trump. Now, Trump gave a 2-week ceasefire, as you well know. I can't remember what exactly the date was, and I'm not going to go into it. But here's an interesting little fact. Donald Trump, the Pope, King Charles, all have their birthdays on the 14th of the months. Interesting. Now, in Egypt, April is known as the month of Mary. Are we talking Mary Magdalene, maybe? Now, the Artemis 2 shuttle, or should we say the Artemis 2 Airbnb, is basically one of the women. Sorry, the woman is named Mary. Ooh, that's interesting. And Mary, of course, has been to the dark side of the moon, as you well know. Now, I wonder if Artemis 2 will crash and Mary will survive, and Mary will become the hero of the hour, maybe. Who knows? We're not quite sure, but of course, as you well know, Mary and the other 3 crew members already escaped down the zip line from, of course, Artemis 2. And then the question remains, why was it named Artemis 2 with like 2 1s instead of Artemis 2, the 2, right? Now, you might think that's a bit weird, but I was thinking, these are the twin pillars, 9/11. Very interesting. Anyway, 9/11 done on the 4th of 11. Ooh, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Who knows? May the 4th be with you, as they say in the trade. So that's quite interesting. Now, the ceasefire date, which is next week sometime, can't remember. Week after, is it? It will be 1 year since the death of the Pope. Very interesting. It will be 10 years since Prince Philip has died. Oh, that's quite interesting. And I'm not quite sure about this one. I don't know whether someone's got the maths wrong or not, but apparently it will be 100 years since the Queen died. Now, I don't know about that one, but we'll wait and see. Very interesting. It is also as well, it is the ceasefire date is also the nuclear bomb's birthday. Fucking hell, who would have known? The nuclear bomb's birthday. Well, it's all a coincidence, or is it? Now, as well, the same date, the ceasefire date, Prince William just happens to be 15,999 days old. Fucking hell. Now, that is interesting. Now, if you spin that round, you get 666. Ooh, that could be quite interesting as well. Know what I mean? Now, Princess Diana equals the moon. Okay? Who's just been to the moon? Artemis 2. Mary was on board Artemis 2. They went to the dark side of the moon to return to the light. Very interesting. Now, here's some good stuff to you. And this, of course, is the twin pillars. Now, Artemis is the daughter of Zeus. She happens to be the twin sister to Apollo. Ooh, the Apollo missions, maybe. Now, the name Artemis is associated with safe, unharmed, and, of course, healthy. Artemis is also a virgin goddess. That's quite interesting, isn't it? Now, I can see Allah in the background now, twitching at the thought of a fresh virgin in heaven. Fucking hell. What more could he want? What more could he ask for? Well, he's a greedy little chap, he's our Allah, and he wants 12. He wants 12. Now, interestingly enough as well, Artemis in the Roman sense is goddess Diana. Very interesting. Know what I mean? I love this shit, I do. Now, a warning. This is a warning to the Irish government and the Irish military. Many years ago, there was a guy called Charles Boycott, and this is where we think the name came from, boycotting people. And he happened to be a very swaggering landowner with a very big fucking ego. And he owned a lot of properties in and around Ireland. And during the Great Depression, he wanted to evict the struggling families from his properties, because although he was getting some money, he wasn't getting all of it simply because of the struggle that the families were having. So the community did a great fucking thing. They protested. Fucking brilliant. Now, how did they protest is the most important thing. Well, let me tell you how they protested. They protested by ignoring him. They ignored him. They wouldn't talk to him. They wouldn't even look at him. They wouldn't acknowledge him. They wouldn't say hello to him. They wouldn't do nothing. And in the same token, the police, the butchers, the bakers, the blacksmiths, every single one of them ignored him. And he couldn't get anything fixed at his house. Nobody would go there to do any jobs. Even the servants stopped working for him. And in the end, he left Ireland. And the story goes that he went to America and he died penniless in America because he was isolated by the community and he was completely helpless, even though he was a great landowner. The moral of the story, okay, is don't bite the hand that feeds you. Okay? Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So that might be just a little warning to the upper echelons of the world. Know what I mean? When the people ignore you, you're fucked. You just imagine that. Just imagine, right? I mean, let me give you some examples. Just imagine, right, all of a sudden, there wasn't any spectators going to Formula One. There wasn't any spectators going to Manchester United. There wasn't any spectators going to Epsom. There wasn't any spectators going to Liverpool Football Club. There wasn't any spectators going to clubs to watch the Beatles or whoever it happens to be. Just imagine that. Just imagine that, right? That the people didn't support the money. Just imagine that, right? Just imagine what you could do. Imagine for one day that the whole of the UK didn't buy fuel. Just for one day, right? For one day, right? Now, every day, right, 40 billion litres of fuel are sold in the UK. Now, if everybody in the UK didn't buy fuel for 1 week, right, that would be 7 4 28. That would be 280 billion pounds that the government would lose in revenue. 280 billion in 1 week, right? In 4 weeks, we're looking at a trillion. A trillion. That's a fucking lot of money. That is a lot of money, ladies and gentlemen. Thousand billion is a trillion. Fucking hell. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Now, over the last couple of weeks, this is a caution, okay? I've come across quite a number of people. I'm not going to say a lot, but a number. I've come across a number of people that are losing their shit, okay? And I think that apart from smacking them in the mouth because they're being absolute ticks, we have to cut them a little bit of slack because the energies are going absolutely nuts and people are really, really struggling. I've had two particular instances with people questioning the pricing of certain things to the point where this person was getting so irate that I spent an hour trying to explain the situation. And when it turned out, rather than rather than her perception of being overcharged, okay, she was actually undercharged for the work that I did, which is actually quite amusing. But it took me an hour to try to explain to her how the pricing worked, and she couldn't get it. And we're not talking about, we're not talking about someone on a council estate. We're talking about someone with money. And we're talking about someone that is relatively, to the outside world, very intelligent. But it seems as though that this energy is playing havoc with people in all kinds of different ways. So I think that we need to really, really take that in mind when we are moving around over the next sort of few weeks, because the intensity is getting incredible. And I think that people are becoming very confused, and they are suffering from I'm not quite sure what you would call it. I would say sort of brain fog, but anyway, I don't really know. So it's something that we need to really be aware of as we move forward. So yeah, very, very interesting. So, yeah, very, very interesting. And someone's quite rightly said, the big question is, where is the money they've embezzled? Where has it gone? Well, of course, it hasn't technically gone anywhere because it's still there. It's just that you can't see it. And, of course, it's within your Cecil Trust, etc. Now, I did have a very interesting conversation with a guy yesterday in regards to the Cecil Trust and how you can access it. That information is going to be available. I don't think we're going to need it because it's quite a minefield to actually access your Cecil Trust, which clearly it would be, because of course they wouldn't want us finding out how to access it. And this, of course, is when you go to Eton and Cambridge, etc., you find out this shit. Not even so much Cambridge, it's more Eton. Remember that most MPs have basically gone to Eton, with the exception of one or two. And, of course, it's the old boys club. And one of the things that they learn very, very quickly, they learn about the Bills of Exchange Act. They learn about finance. They learn about the Cecil Trust. They learn about how to access that. They are sworn to secrecy. It's a big club. You're not in it. But remember, every dog has its day. We're having ours soon. Don't worry about that. Anyway, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to get myself off. Love you loads. You take care. Update on the allergy that I've got. Not quite sure what it is at the moment. We're still going through a water fast. Apparently fasting is one of the quickest ways to come out of a sort of an allergy thing, and then you reset your body, and then you basically so I think I've had about 3 crackers in 3 days. Interestingly enough, I don't feel overly hungry, to be honest. had a bit more energy today, which was surprising. But we'll just wait and see what happens. Now, it could be all kinds of reasons. It could be fungus. It could be bugs. It could be pollen. It could be an allergic reaction to a food. It could be an allergic reaction to alcohol. It could be absolutely anything. But what I want to do, first of all, is get myself set with, with a fast, get everything like detoxed out my system, and then restart again and see where we go from there. So anyway, love you loads. Take care. I'll keep you informed. Don't forget tomorrow is of course the 11th of the 4th. May the 4th be with you, ladies and gentlemen, and very exciting times. So yeah. Keep everything coming. Keep all the stuff. Don't forget to share and like the videos, and get it onto all the platforms you can think about. Don't worry if you think that it's already been posted. Just put it up there anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, love you loads. We will see you all again soon. Cheers, bye.